In the last month, the median price of an Oakland home has exploded by $102,000. But at the same time, looking at all of the market metrics, we see a market that's actually in much healthier shape than it has been in 4 years. So what's an Oakland home buyer to do in this challenging but actually healthier housing market? That's the question we're answering in today's Oakland Real Estate Update for March 6th, 2025. I'm Jon Schwartz, California's 1% homebuyer agent, and my YouTube channel is for California home buyers. I post local market updates, statewide market updates, and statewide real estate news that you need to know, like my recent expose about the California Realtor scam that's been bilking hundreds of millions of dollars from California home buyers for years. Check it out up here, or I'll put the link in the description below after we get into this week's Oakland numbers. Let's get into it. And we're looking at the latest weekly Redfin print for the Oakland metro market. We're looking at median sale price. And as you can see, the median sale price of homes in Oakland has shot up this year. That's the green line. Right now, we're looking at a median sale price of $918,000. That is a growth of $102,000 from our January trough. That is a steep price incline. Spring is off to an early start this year in Oakland, California. Now we're looking at the new listing median price of homes in Oakland. And this is a metric I love because it's so current. This is the median price of newly listed homes this week. This is the price that homes are coming to market this week. And as you can see, we've shot up since the beginning of the year and then have grown a little more moderately in the last 4 weeks. Right now, the new listing median price is $912,000. Now keep in mind, that's below our median sale price of $918,000. So technically speaking, Oakland realtors are leaving a little money on the table. When a market is hot and seeing a lot of growth and the listing price is trailing the sales price, that means that agents can be a little more aggressive. So I hope there aren't any Oakland agents out there watching this and thinking, I'm going to list my next home at a higher price. But if there are any out there watching and you do get that message, well, I don't know why I would make it harder for Oakland home buyers. I think maybe I just did. Moving on. Now we're looking at new listings. This is the number of weekly new listings coming to market in Oakland. This week, 542 new listings came to market. That's 27% more than last year. As you can see, the past couple of weeks have sort of seen a flattening out since our sharp uptick at the beginning of the year. It's great to see that we had such a sharp uptick in new listings at the beginning of the year, right in line with the black line, which is 2022's numbers. Remember, the beginning of 2022 is when everyone knew that rates were going to climb. And so a lot of buyers and sellers started getting a lot more active to try to get transactions in before rates did double. Interestingly, there was a similar rush to list in the beginning of 2025. And so it's nice to see that though we trail behind 2022 in terms of new listings, we're well ahead of last year, 2024, and the year before that, 2023. This is a healthy sign for Oakland. Now we're looking at homes sold. This is the number of homes that sell each week in Oakland. And we, this week, are at 273 homes sold. That's 7.2% more than this same time last year. We started out the year really beating out last year's numbers for homes sold, and now that margin is getting tighter and tighter. Really, that's a good sign for home buyers. If the number of new listings stays high, but the number of homes sold begins to dwindle, it means that active inventory pool is going to expand. That means more options. That means less competition. That means downward pressure on pricing. I hate to break it to you, though, but this trend will not continue. How do we know that? By looking at pending sales. So pending sales is a leading indicator for homes sold because a home goes pending about a month before it becomes a home sold. When a home enters contract at the beginning of the escrow process, it's marked as pending. And then when the escrow process ends, typically 30 days later, the transaction concludes and the home is marked as a home sold. And as you can see, pending sales this year has been shooting up with the same velocity that we saw in 2022, getting way ahead of last year's numbers. Right now, in this past week, 471 homes went pending on the Oakland market. That represents a 51% growth over the same week last year. With pending sales outpacing last year's numbers by such a margin, it means we can expect homes sold to really ramp up in the next month. And with homes sold ramping up, that means more homes are exiting the market. That means the active inventory pool might contract. That means upward pressure on pricing. Again, it's interesting to compare this year, the green line, to 2022, the black line, because again, the reason why so many sales went pending at the beginning of the year is because rates were doubling. And you can see we have basically the same level of intensity this year in 2025. Rates aren't doubling, though. Is this just pent-up demand for home ownership? Fortunately for home buyers, active listings remains nicely elevated over last year's numbers. This week, we had 3,230 active listings on the Oakland market. That's 44% more active listings than the same time last year. And that's just great news. I mean, while we're comparing this year to last year in 2022, we can see that the number of active listings is well above all of the 3 previous years at this time. So yes, pending sales have skyrocketed, which means homes sold is going to climb, which means there's going to be a downward drag on this metric, active listings. But being 44% over last year's numbers means we have a ton of margin to work with. And hopefully this is enough margin to allow for a moderately priced spring and summer home buying season. Now looking at weeks of supply, and this is a metric I love because it balances supply against demand. In other words, this is demand adjusted supply. And you can really compare years against each other in an apples to apples way. Now, unfortunately, supply has been falling for the past 2 weeks. Right now on the Oakland market, we have 12.3 weeks of supply, but fortunately, we're well above where we were last year and the year before, and leaps and bounds above where we were in 2022. Last year, we had about 9 weeks of supply on the market at this point. So prices have skyrocketed, pending sales are up, weeks of supply is going down. These are all kind of bad signs for home buyers. But weeks of supply is still high, relatively high compared to previous years. That's good news for home buyers and frankly, good news for the entire Oakland housing market. The big problem since the pandemic has been a lack of supply, and we want to see supply numbers go up. So yeah, this is a tough market. It's a market that has started the spring season early, but in a macro sense, this is a healthier market than we've been in since the pandemic. Median days on market reinforces the message that yeah, it's a tough market, but at least it's pretty healthy. Median days on market has been plummeting, but that's pretty typical for this time of year. This is when buyers wake up from their Thanksgiving and Christmas stupor and look around and realize they just got their bonus from last year and decide it's time to buy a house. That creates more competition. That drives down the median days on market. Right now, we're at 18 for the median days on market in Oakland. That's a pretty fast market relative even to other California markets. Fortunately, though, we're still above last year. We're still above 2022. And interestingly, the percent of active listings with a price drop has really taken off in a way that we haven't seen since mid-2022 when rates actually hit 7.5% and suddenly all these sellers had to cut their prices in order to move their homes. Right now, the percent of active listings with a price drop is 4.5%, way above where we were last year and the year before, even way higher than where we were in 2022. What this means for savvy home buyers is that there are deals sitting out there. What you want to do is hit the home seller with their price cut before they contemplate it. When a seller cuts the price of a home, it attracts more interest and it might create some competition. If you see a home that's been on the market for 30 or 60 days and hasn't had a price cut, it's a great time to go in and offer low. Offer what you anticipate that seller's price cut might be. That's a smart way to shop. It's also smart not to get taken advantage of by the California Realtor scam. If you haven't already, I'll put the video right there. Check it out. I post this Oakland real estate update every other Thursday. So mark your calendar and I'll see you in 2 weeks.